Hello everybody, it's Saxon4 here. So, today I want to talk to you about when you first get a new tank. This was my first game in the FV 4004 Conway. It's a sexy looking tank, I must say. I put the equipment on the tank, I retrained the crew. The crew's only got 1.5 skills. I've got the 122mm, it's one of those rare tanks that doesn't actually have a stock grind. It starts off with the top turret and the top one of the top guns. I have the top engine already unlocked, so it's sort of like, hey, let's go. So it's a tier 10 game. I'm with my lovely platoon mates, Junior Emir, who we saw in an earlier video when I was playing the STRV 81, and Ak 70. And I must say, Ak has been a godsend. He's been in the clan for thousands of days. He's the second in command. When I've disappeared for 6 months, 7 months, a year, he's kept the clan ticking along, kept updating the strongholds for me. He's an excellent player, much better than me. And he doesn't leave. He could easily find a proper clan, that's much better. But he stays, he's loyal, and he's great fun to platoon with. He's always platooning. And he's just a fantastic friend on World of Tanks. So shout out to Ak70. Shame he doesn't do YouTube. But anyway, this is a paper tank. What am I doing at the front, you say? You see, I hate snipers. This is why I don't tend to play paper TDs. I like the assault TDs. Why would I want to sit in the bush waiting for enemies to come? I like to play up close and personal, aggressive, even though I've got binoculars. So we see on the enemy team they've got a T95 FV4201 Chieftain. Oh, that thing, yes, you know that thing. So, very good aiming by me there. We've taken a hit with the Carnarvon Action X. Now the Carnarvon Action X is a great tank, I've got it, but the turret is not like the Super Conqueror. You can quite easily go through it, especially at tier higher. Oh, not like that though, you need to shoot properly. I'm thinking, right, I'm in the zone now. Oh, he hits me, but I just press the 2, yeah, no, it's cheap. But this is the thing, I know the weak spots and I know how to shoot the weak spot. There, okay, that was a stupid shot from me. But sometimes, if the weak spot's small, it's just easier to press 2 and know that you're going to pen, because when it's a close game, every bounce matters and you just need peace of mind. So now we see a Jagdpanzer E100. Personally, I don't think it's a very good tank. I've not played it, that's a disclaimer, but I just find them very easy to kill. Boom. Take the tracks off. Just a bit disappointed it didn't do any damage, but he's used his repair kit. Let's see what happens next. So this is what you want with a TD with such a small scope. You want a tank on the right, on the left, so that it doesn't know where to shoot. Bang! Penetration. I take a bit of a risk here, but I want to get rid of it because it can do a lot of damage if you let it. Keep it tracked, keep the damage going, along with a 703 can help. This is exactly, when you've got a high DPM gun, this is exactly the position you want to be in. Holding the mouse button down, being able to pump the DPM like you're a factory farm worker, and really exploit the enemy's weaknesses. Did you see that? I was a DPM low alpha damage tank. He was a lowish DPM, very high alpha damage tank. Who won in this situation? The DPM tank. Yet everybody tells me alpha is king. No. There are situations, of course, when you want the alpha damage, when you want to hold the flank, scare the enemies. But actually, sometimes the enemies think because you do low damage in single shot, that they get cocky. They just go in front of you and then bam, 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 bam. You're like a machine gun, and before you know it, they're gone. And I find it just a bit more fun, you know, to play the DPM games, because you know you just go bam, 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 bam. If I miss, not to worry, I've got another shot coming up not too far away. That's why I love DPM tanks. So the enemies here, I don't know what they're doing. They have us outnumbered, and it's a chieftain, so it's one of those sort of, yes. We somehow managed to get rid of the chieftain. I don't know what he was doing. He was actually a good player. I checked his stats afterwards. I've almost run out of APCR because I'm spamming APCR, as Klaus Kellerman would say, like a motherfucker. I love Klaus Kellerman. My 3 favourite YouTubers who do World of Tanks: Klaus Kellerman, Desert Games, and Quickie Baby. They're my 3 favourites. I used to be obsessed with what's his name? Bohemian Angel. But I sort of just gone, I don't know, I just don't really watch him anymore. But he was the first YouTuber I watched. And then it was quite embarrassing really when I was much younger. I was in a game with my clan friend, and I ended up in the same battle with him. And I was so excited, it was like meeting a celebrity. I just let myself go and I started saying, "Oh my god, I love you." I miswrote. I was so shaking that I mistyped his name as Bohemian Mango. I went on the forums and told everyone about it. Then everyone's laughing. I was made into a meme, but I didn't care because I just seemed at the time my hero. I said something, everyone thought I was mentally unstable. Well, they were only half wrong there, but but as you can see, look at this: 4,519 damage, 1,800 assist, and do you know what? That was my first game in the tank. Check the stats. I haven't played it since. Check my stats, and you can still see there ace tank on the first game. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was fun, and hope it showed you that even in a paper tank, if you get up close and personal, you can have a good game. I've just got something that just made me laugh to the high heavens. So, me and Piku and I had been playing all night. I don't know. This was in the early hours of the morning. We'd been up all night playing World of Tanks. Amir had come on. He'd woken up. We hadn't actually gone to bed yet, so we were already in a bit half sort of dazed mood. So we said, let's all play tier 3. It's quite funny. I love tier 3. It's actually tier 3 is the tier since they gave it matchmaking just +1, which all tiers in my view should be. It only meets tier 4s. It was a ridiculous state of affairs when I would play in tier 3 and you meet in tier 5s that you can't do anything to. So, and it's just such a fun tier. 3 of you in a platoon. Piku always, me in the voice chat, he goes, oh, because he's from Finland as well. I love Piku, great person. We have such good games together. He goes, oh, it's free win rate, and it practically is. So I said, all follow me. And Amir, I thought, had just gone off to do his own thing. No, actually, he's coming to join us. Very smart Amir, another great friend of mine on World of Tanks. I said, look, we're bottom tier. Let's just go forward. Let's just, get the game over and done with so we can play again. But one of the funniest things I've ever been a witness of in World of Tanks happened. Well, just coming up now. So we all joined together. The 3 musketeers are called us. Oh, look at that rubbish thing, the free gift tank with lower DPM than a tier 1 that has an autoloader for absolutely no reason. It didn't have one, it doesn't need one, nobody asked for it to have one. Look at that, oh, it's just, oh, it was sad. That he didn't know what was going on. So I'm like, no, Amir wants us to go into the middle. I said, Amir, Piku, follow us. Well, actually, I think Piku said, come this way. So we decide instead, let's just help out the top tanks over there, the Panzer B2, the BT7 artillery. A lot of enemies are there. Along with his T28, who's just following us for the ride, because he saw my name, Saxon 4, and he thought, I'm going to follow Saxon 4. So we decide, Emir decides to speed off, and I'm thinking, goodness me, he's going to get himself killed. We're bottom tier, don't forget, these aren't tier 2s. And then this happens. So you see all those enemies. The artillery! Me and Piku can't stop laughing at this moment. I can barely see the screen because I'm literally going, oh my god, artillery's are here! And look at what are they doing! Look at it, they don't... Bang! And then we just go forward. Look how many enemies are there, and we're just coming in like a bulldozer. The enemies are completely confused and dazed. They're not even shooting back at this point. We're just auto-aiming, driving forward, not stopping. Look at that. The bang goes the Marder. Emir almost flips himself. There's an M2 medium. He's not even shooting. There's an Italian there that's not even facing the correct way. He's backing up, reversing. He's not even moving the Panzer B2. He's now been hit by the artillery. We go for the ram. Then we kill the Panzer B2. The enemies have barely even dented us. We've just taken out the entire team. Have you ever seen? It's like lambs to the slaughter. One of my favourite quotes from the Doctor Who before it was ruined was, I don't know if you remember, the Dalek v Cyberman episode, where they said, "This isn't war, this is pest control." Well, that's a prime example of that. It was just absolutely balmy. Completely balmy. All those tanks just sort of, they were probably new players, and in one sense feel sorry for them. In another sense just think, goodness me, they're going to be going, well, this game is too hard. It does in a sense remind me of when I was new to the game, with the god-awful the old matchmaker was a complete and utter joke. A lot of people complain about the 357 matchmaking. or which has now been developed into template matchmaking, in my view, is the best thing to happen to the game. Let me explain why. What fun is it being, let's say, a Churchill 7, and the matchmaking decides to put you in a tier 8 game, where you're the only tier 6, everyone else is a tier 8 or a tier 7. That's not balanced, it's not fun, and that's why I didn't play much. Once they introduced the 3-5-7 matchmaking, I loved it. There is this argument that it ruins preferential matchmaking tanks. I don't buy that argument at all. If in the tier 8 tanks, if you play solo, you do still see tier 6 often. And not having to see tier 10 is a godsend. Also, it meant that when you are bottom tier, if it's the 3-5-7 matchmaking, you don't get many top tier tanks to fight. It's better. Yes, it does mean the top tier tanks have a lot more on their backs, but that's the way the wargamer want to have it. In my view, I would have the matchmaking simply +1, -1. Fight the tier above and the tier below, no more. But if you're going to have the +2 matchmaking, you need to have the template. You need to have the 3-5-7. But what do you think? Does anyone else actually like the 3-5-7 or the template matchmaking? If you do, say in the comments. I hope you enjoyed that. Just a bit of fun. It wasn't particularly amazing gameplay. I just found it very amusing. So, see you soon, everybody.